Hello everyone, I am Reena Augustine and you're watching Community Impact. My guest today is Seema Malla from Fiji. Hello Seema.
Hello, Reena.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here today.
A privilege. The reason why you're here today, Seema, is I have known you for a long time and also I have actually seen you doing so many fashion shows, beauty pageants. You are an inspiration to so many out there. So tell me, how long you've been here in Australia?
I've been in Australia for 13 years now. And so 2007 I moved here. I was in New Zealand before that. I actually moved to Australia following my heart, my love. And I actually was really happy with the move because my rest of my family was already here. So it was definitely a positive move for me. And I'm really thankful for that.
So you think that Australia is definitely the land of opportunities?
It is definitely the land of
Has it changed
opportunities.
your life?
It has changed my life, especially in the last 5 years, I'd say. Australia has changed my life. And so when I moved from New Zealand, things were very similar to what I faced in New Zealand because I moved to New Zealand when I was 18 and I went to study there. And the culture shock and all the differences, I had already been through that in Dunedin. So moving to Australia, I was already quite grown up and had experienced a lot of stuff and was already working. So I would say it was not a very challenging or I didn't face much struggle, but there was something missing from my life, I think, which I found 5 years ago after joining the multicultural fashion events. And that has actually changed my life.
So Seema, you said that you moved here from Fiji, went to New Zealand, came here, and you're an advocate for DV.
Awareness and prevention.
Okay, and why is that?
So growing up as a child, I had seen and witnessed a lot of domestic violence around me. It was happening in my house, it was happening in all the houses surrounding me. And I did not understand enough about it back then, but I knew that what was happening was not right. And I felt very helpless because I was only this tiny little girl who didn't have any power. I didn't have the knowledge or tools and skills to be able to do something for those. And back then it was women who were suffering. And I don't know what happened. It stayed in my head for a long time. In the hope, I guess, I tried to push it back, thinking that maybe now things are okay. And all these years I was thinking that. Till 5 years ago, when I participated in one of the fashion shows, a multicultural fashion show, and the stats were shown in that show because it was part of a organization that deals with domestic violence support, victim support. And the speaker there, they told about the stats that we have in Australia, the people who are dying from direct cause of domestic violence. And that shook me to the core. And that's when I realized that the issue that I had in my head back then hasn't gone away. It has actually gone worse over the years, and people are dying from it. So, and it's not just women, children and men are dying from it. More men actually die from domestic violence. So that's when I decided that I've got to do something about it.
It's amazing. And that's how you started Fancinators?
Yes, so that particular day I went home. And all the memories came rushing back to me, what I experienced as a child, what I witnessed as a child. And I thought to myself, I have got to do something about it now because I have the financial stability, I have the knowledge and skills, and I have the tools that I can do something about it and make an impact. So as a Queensland government worker, I already had so much opportunities and training that was available to me, that was going to arm me to be able to help people who are going through these domestic violence situations. And I was appointed a domestic and family violence network champion at work, which is at the Coopers Plains site. So 600 people, they can come to me and share their experiences, and I can help them, guide them towards the right help.
That is amazing, Seema. That is an amazing news because I've never heard something like that.
Yes, I think the issue is that a lot of people don't talk about it, and that is why I took on this advocacy.
The good news is that somebody can come and talk to you.
Yes.
Say it to you.
And I'm not a counselor, I'm just a co-worker. And sometimes people are comfortable to share their experience. So when they are experiencing violence at home, sometimes work becomes their safe sanctuary, and they can communicate and get the message out that I'm suffering from something, and is there anything available for me? And so I'm really blessed that I work for an organization, Queensland Health, who does this. They put network champions out there at different sites, and people know about them who work in those particular sites, and they can go and seek help. And yeah, it has been a learning curve for me as well, because every story is different.
That's right.
And an eye-opener, really. So I'm also learning in this journey and trying to help as much as I can. So at work I do that, and when I go home, I thought, how can I help people financially? Because when someone gets out of their house, runs away from the violence, they need somewhere to go to. So shelters, as we know, they get full really easily, because DV has skyrocketed, especially at the moment when people are losing their jobs and mental health issues are on the rise. DV is also on the rise. So when shelters are full, we have to continue this cycle of finding places for these people. And there are children in there as well, men, women, and children. So with Friends with Dignity, we set up homes, which is called sanctuaries, for these people to move into. So they have their own home, which is a safe zone, safe haven for them. So after thinking about it, I thought maybe I can start designing, because my mom is a tailor, and I have got that artistic gene in me, I think. And I started designing headpieces, which is millinery. I didn't even know what millinery was before I started designing it. So millinery is something that royal family used to wear, and they still do, and people wear traces. So I design all sorts of headpieces and sell them at events, showcase them at events like yours, Multicultural Fashion Show. I have showcased so many times. And I launched the brand called Fancinators at Brisbane Raw Showcase 3 years ago.
Wow.
Since then, I would say I have been involved in this so much that every day now, in my spare time, I'm doing something. I'm making something. I'm either sourcing the material to make these headpieces, or promoting them, or trying to just get the word out there that, hey, this is something that's available. So the initiative that I started was called Crown for Charity, which means the crown symbolizes that when you wear it, it's like a message, and you're carrying my message through with that you are supporting DV prevention and raising awareness through that. Yes. So it becomes like a talking point, a communicating point. People talk about it and get the message out, and making it a very common topic so that victims don't feel threatened or scared to come and speak up when they need it. So that's how this whole thing started, from that one day, from that one event, and it has changed my life.
That's amazing, Seema. Wow, you are doing so much for the community, and even you participated in the Mrs. Universal pageant?
Yes, so 2 years ago, I was already involved in this community service and designing, and also doing modeling as well. So I love working with the local designers and photographers, and together we collaborate a lot and try and promote each other. And one of the ambassadors for the Universal pageant found out about my cause and my mission and approached me, and I was appointed Mrs. Asia Pacific Universal for 2019. And I had never thought about participating ever in a beauty pageant, but the main thing that attracted me towards that platform was that I could take my advocacy international, and that's exactly what happened. After joining the platform, Mrs. Universal platform, I was in newspaper headlines, I was in magazines, I was giving interviews about my cause and about DV. So that skyrocketed from there, that took off, and somehow the United Nations head office in Asia Pacific, which is in Bangkok, they found out about it, and they invited me to come for an interview there and share the role that I play as a domestic and family violence network champion back at my workplace. They wanted to use that as a template for all government organizations in all of Asia Pacific region, as well as roll it out for private companies, because it is something that's so important now.
Absolutely.
Yes, and so that's how that came about, the Mrs. Asia Pacific.
So proud of you.
Thank you.
And you flew to Mexico?
I did. I went to Mexico last year and had the best time of my life. I'm not good at all these pageant stuff, but what I was able to do and the impact that I was able to make made a lot of difference in my life, and I was really happy with it.
That's good. So they say that the modeling world, the media world is really, tough. And what was your journey like and experience?
I think I am really blessed and lucky that things have always happened for me. Like, I keep on doing what I'm doing, and somehow it gets recognized. People nominate me for things, people just approach me. Even like sometimes victims, they find out about me and they come and approach me, and they just directly seek help, and I'm able to guide them. So I think it's really important to be out there and advocating and always be visible.
Yes.
Use the social media wisely.
Yes.
And so I use social media for promoting my business, my Fancinators business, and trying to get the message out as well. And however I can help, like in any other kind of community service. So I also just last month I finished the world's biggest climb for Leukemia Foundation. So I raised more than $600 thanks to the donors. And these are just some of the examples. Like, there's so much things that keeps on coming, and I love challenges. As soon as I see, I don't know, I get attracted to challenges. I just keep on going towards it, and if it's going to benefit someone, if it's going to benefit the community, I'm going to give it 100%.
Wow, that is an amazing cause. You are giving out to the community, and you know what, Seema? It comes back.
It does.
No work is for free or wastage of time. It definitely comes back. Seema, there are vision statements, there are mission statements, right?
Yes.
People get lost in the journey, if I'm not wrong. How can we find the vision and mission statement that you found 5 years back?
So I think it's really important for people to recognize that there is so much happening around them. And just getting out of the house and trying to recognize what kind of opportunities are out there, and grabbing it and using it wisely. Sometimes when you go out and you, like even going to an event, you never know what kind of impact it's going to make on you. You might actually end up finding a mission for life, like I did. And so using those kind of opportunities wisely, networking, and trying to recognize what kind of help is out there. So for example, for me, after joining the multicultural organization, these fashion shows, people might think that they're all glamorous events and it just looks so nice, but there's so much hard work and dedication that goes into it in the background. And during those hard work, you get to meet people from so many different countries, so many different backgrounds and culture, and I actually made friends with people who are from countries that I've never heard of in my life. So that is amazing, and I have made lifelong friendships with them. And when we see each other, it just lightens up the room. So I really, really encourage people to get out there and see what's there for them, and try and get inspiration, try and get motivated by other people's stories.
That's right.
So spending time, like, don't be in your cocoon. There is so much in life to do. And also with community service, I don't want people to think that community service means just giving funds, donating money. There's so many other ways that you can help, giving your time, using your talent. Whatever talent you might have, you can convert it into finance and then provide that back.
Absolutely. You don't have to be old and rich to do community service.
Exactly.
You can be young and struggling, but still go out there and help the community out.
Yes.
What is the last thing that you would like to tell our youngsters?
Something that I actually experienced. So I started modeling at the age of 34. I actually always wanted to model. People always told me, because I'm tall, I'm 5'9". They said, "Are you a model?" And I always thought, oh, maybe I should try it. So at 34, I started modeling thanks to Reena. I just approached Reena at the multicultural event.
Don't tell me that was your first fashion show.
That was the
Seema.
first fashion show I've ever done in my life. And that has changed my life. And it was at the Senior Citizens Retirement Village. It was an amazing experience looking at all those beautiful faces light up when we walked out in our traditional attires. I have been representing Fiji, and that in itself is a very, very proud moment for me. And I'm wearing Fijian again. My mom has designed this very proudly. She's my best designer, of course. And so age is never going to be an obstacle. You have to just make sure you have a clear vision and you are ready to work hard for to get your dreams.
That's right.
So age is not going to stop you. You keep on learning, you keep on evolving, and keep on trying new things. And yes,
Thank you
that's
so
my
much, Seema.
message.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Same here.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. You're watching Community Impact. I'll be right back with you next week with a new guest.